when you're thinking about your business model and you've got the whiteboard, the notebook, the conversations, running all these ideas through your head until you've literally thunk all the thoughts, it seems, I would just like to offer this perspective and a question of what if it all works? What if anything that you would try would actually work and turn into something? You could build traction, you could build momentum, you could create income, you could feel creatively satisfied to some degree. What if it could all work? The question is, what do you want to work? Because I had a conversation today with a potential client who's an amazing leader in their field and looking at dipping into the online marketing world, specifically information products, and creating, a more leveraged arm of income. And when I have conversations with people who, again, are complete badasses in their own fields and they see this opportunity in this space, which I remember when I first stumbled into this corner of the internet and I was like, oh my gosh, didn't even know that all of this was possible with online courses and workshops and blah, 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 blah. And it looks so shiny and simple. I mean, just the phrase passive income itself is like such a fantasy, right? And I have experienced how amazing it feels to get paid multiple times on work that you've done once. And it is a beautiful thing. I'm not denying that at all. But it can tend to create this urgency of like, let me just throw everything at it and follow this path or step by step, whatever it is, and create and follow whatever the first online course person that got to me is recommending. And the thing is, like, it can all work. I've done courses, workshops, I've done in-person retreat, I've done small group, ongoing small group, just 1 month. I've done a more mastermindy approach. I've done one-on-one. I've done a combination of course with group support. Like I've tried out all these different business models, and I have friends and colleagues who have made all of these into multiple 6-figure, even 7-figure business models. And so the point is, it can all work. What do you actually want to work? And lead with that, because you will find evidence that literally any business model that you think of can be the ticket to unlocking your financial freedom and lifestyle freedom and whatever it is that you're looking for. So what do you actually want to do? I mean, there's just no escaping this question. You can escape it and you can avoid it. And then eventually you might build this particular business model and then be so resentful and annoyed and over it that you're eventually going to come back to this question. So why not ask this question now, which is, what do I actually want to work? Like, what can I actually see myself wanting to commit to, knowing that everything on a sales page is going to seem shiny and like the perfect solution, because that's a sales page and it's marketing and that's what it's doing. It's doing its job to convince you like this is the answer. This is what you want to build. But do you? Based on the actual life that you have and the life that you're actually wanting to experience in the near and semi-distant future, what are you willing to offer in exchange for the result that you're looking to create? Because maybe you think, okay, everybody is saying do a leveraged group program where I have the curriculum running in the background and then I have group calls scheduled every week or whatever. Like, okay, but do you actually want to do that? Do you actually want to have the calls every week? Maybe you don't. So what can you do instead? How can you think outside the box? What do you actually want to do? If you are coaching clients, do you want to have real-time calls, or would asynchronous conversations through something like Voxer actually work better for you and for your clients? Because there are people who do purely only Voxer coaching, and that's not a compromise. It's actually a selling point. For example, a client who's helping burned out doctors and medical professionals, like they only have pockets of time because they're on their feet or on call. And so they need to be able to just like nap time empires, moms and sneaking away over in the corner for a little bit to have a quiet moment. They appreciate the asynchronous conversations. Or I have a client on the other side of the world. And so we get together in real time every now and then, but most of our conversations are Voxer time. And we love that. And it works great. So you get to design it, and you get to decide. And as great as it is that there's so much information out there and so many options available on the internet, it's also really freaking overwhelming and unnecessary, because the simplest path is the one that's sustainable for you. It's your own personal path of least resistance. And nobody can answer that question, what do I actually want to work, but you. So if it's been a while since you've considered that, and you need proof of possibility, let me just say, as someone who has tried a lot of different offers and a lot of different formats and how I can serve and connect and add value and exchange inspiration with people over the last almost 10 years since I started this business, it can all work. Truly, you will find evidence of it. If you need evidence of a particular business model, just Google and find examples, and you will. So if it can all work, what do you actually want to work? That is a question central to the hashtag on her terms business model. And it's not like you have to pick one and then stick with it forever, because your business is going to evolve as you do. I mean, if you're listening to this, you probably care a lot about your lifestyle, not just business for business's sake, but business as an extension of your lifestyle, and like actually enjoying the parts and pieces that you're responsible for and what you're creating. And it's like a form of self-expression and all of that. Because if you're just building businesses, then you're probably not even listening to this podcast. If it's just business for business sake, like Shark Tank style entrepreneur who values business for the inner workings and like build it, sell it, exit, like that doesn't tend to be the style of people in my orbit, because that's not my style. So, and if it is, that's cool too. But if you are looking to build a business that you're actually enjoying being in the operations to some degree, and it is a form of expression for you, if it's been a while since you actually just sat to really be honest with what you're currently willing and able to do and offer, and brave enough to actually shift and change things so that your current offers reflect what you do genuinely want to offer, then let this be just a notification, something to consider. If any of it would work and I get to choose, and I do because I'm the boss, then what do I actually want to create? It's worth considering. Let me know what comes up as you're noodling on this question. Okay, technically that was the end of the episode, but since you're still here, 1, I'd love to thank you for spending part of your day with me, and 2, I'd love to ask you if you would take 30 seconds, maybe 60, to leave a rating and review in your podcast app before you tap out today. If you've already done that, it's amazing. Please send me a screenshot so I can thank you personally, and know that sharing this episode with a friend has the same magical powers, and I deeply appreciate both. Also, in case you're listening to the end to see if I ever actually introduce myself, hi! My name is Nikki Elledge Brown. I'm the host and author of Naptime Empires and this here On Her Terms podcast. You can find me around the internet at Nikki Elledge Brown in most places, but what you may appreciate most is actually over at onherterms.com. It's what I call the insider library. It's where you can get inside scoop, first listen rights, email updates every time there's a new episode, and then special insider only bonus content. It's all over in our private feed. Okay, that's a wrap for real. I'll meet you in the next episode.